Have y'all ever wondered what would happen if you just break all of the sourdough rules? I mean, I love making sourdough, but let's be honest, there are a lot of rules that say you have to do this and you absolutely can't do that. And to be honest, I've never really been much of a rule follower, but I love making sourdough. So I think I'm going to do this little series where we just start breaking all of the rules of sourdough and I show you what happens. So today we are going to start out with a hands-off loaf. I am mixing up a traditional batch using my original bread recipe. Nothing special here. The only things I'm not going to do, well, it's pretty much everything. I'm not stretch and folding. I am not going to do a cold ferment or a pre-shape or any of that. I'm going to mix up my dough. I'm going to cover it. I'm leaving it on the counter for like 6-7 hours until I come in for dinner tonight. I'm going to throw that into a loaf pan and then we're going to bake it up kind of like a sandwich bread and we're just going to see how this goes. That dough whisk is one of the sourdough tools that I just cannot live without. I am going to get this dough scraped away from the sides of the bowl, and since I'm not doing any stretch and folds and I'm not going to mess with the dough anymore after mixing it up, I am going to move it to another bowl and I'm going to oil that bowl down with a little bit of olive oil so that when I come in to make my loaf, it will release really easily and it won't be a mess. So that's it, y'all. I got the dough mixed up. It didn't take any time. We're going to move it over to this clean bowl. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to leave it in a warm spot. And I'm not going to touch this dough again for the next at least 6 hours. All right, it's the afternoon. It's been about 6.5 hours. I'm going to spray my loaf pan down with a little Baker's Joy. And here's the dough, and honestly, it doesn't really look that different, so I wasn't really sure about this, but we're just doing it anyway. So I kind of did a little stretch and fold action just to get it formed into a loaf and dropped it in the pan. The oven is preheated at 450 degrees. So when I said breaking rules, we're not shaping this. We are not doing any cold proofs. I am open baking, and I will show you guys what the loaf looks like when it comes out. I did try to do a little score on this, but like I said, my dough was room temp. It was very sticky. I knew it was probably going to expand a lot in the oven, but this really felt like pointless. But 45 minutes later, I have a loaf of bread. It is definitely not the prettiest loaf, and I for sure need to spend a little bit more time shaping instead of just plopping it into the pan, but I don't regret this process a bit, and the loaf turned out delicious.